And today we're going to be reacting to a video. Yeah, guys, let's get into it. I'm going to turn this shit down a little bit though, for real. Get all loud.
Which would have made using the jet gun a lot better, because instead of using it for like 5 seconds and then waiting for it to cool down or doing some stupid little glitch, you could have actually used it as it was intended to. But thank God it only took them however many years from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 6 to finally write the jet gun.
Exactly.
Now this next one I constantly hear rumors about, but I've never seen any concrete proof. But originally there was going to be a lantern that you could have carried around transit that would have warded off the denizens. And of course, they did not end up using this, so the lantern got axed. But the lantern did make a comeback in Buried. During that one step where you have to follow the lantern around, apparently that lantern was originally made for transit to ward off the denizens. But the reason I hear that it was cut was because it made traveling around transit too fast and too easy, and the consoles at the time just couldn't handle it. And the whole thing about the console limitations is kind of true, because you have to remember these games are made in a year. Like, they're not polished whatsoever.
Exactly. They only have a year life cycle to make a fucking Call of Duty game.
They are optimized horribly. If they have the proper time to optimize these games, I fully think they could have added all this cool stuff in, but when you only have like a year or two to make a game, you kind of have to cut corners. And sticking with the transit theme, transit was originally going to be much bigger and much grander and way more populated. There would have been more areas to explore and more things to see. The power station was originally going to...
Yeah, look at this. If transit looked like this, oh my god, it would be an amazing map, but I get it. It was the console limitations.
To be much bigger with multiple roads exiting from it. The town would have...
Yeah, but look, see, there's the covered bridge. We do go to that. We go to that. Actually, hang on, let me move my camera real quick so I can fucking show you guys real quick. Alright, turn that off for a second. Look at that. See the tunnel entrance, tunnel exit. Yeah, see, this is usually like right, I'm guessing. There's a lot more, like, there's not a lot of fog. Well,
been the same way with multiple roads going in and out, and you would have also had various houses on the roads from the town to the bus depot. And not to mention that this whole thing was going to sit on what appears to be a lake. And in the destroyed lava version of transit, that lake would have been an entire lake of lava. So unfortunately, I've said it a million times, console limitations and lack of time stole one of the greatest maps of all time from us. Now, did you know that riding the bus was originally going to be much more dangerous? There would have been the special ambush zone, and going through an ambush zone had a 25% chance of causing an ambush round. And during this round, the bus would break down and hellhounds would start spawning in. And after you kill all of the hellhounds, you would receive a max ammo and the bus would start moving again. And in my opinion, this is a shame, because I feel like the bus itself kind of lacks a lot of things to do with it. And having these special ambush zones...
That is so true. Like, it does lack a lot to do with it. That actually would have been kind of an interesting challenge.
Or rounds would have given the bus more things for it to do, and would have given you just more things to do in general. Like, being able to get a max ammo by going through an ambush zone would have been just infinitely better than doing nothing. Let's switch gears here and talk about something that I'm actually glad was cut. There was a cut ghost round theme for Buried. You know, when you go in the mansion and the ghosts all spawn in, that music that starts playing? Well, here is what it sounds like now.
Yeah, that's normal when you're going to the fucking witch's house.
And here is the cut version. I'm very, very glad they cut this.
Yeah.
I don't think it fits
Really,
whatsoever, and I'd like the original much better. Now, believe it or not, there were actually 3 other maps that were cut due to the poor reception that Jimmy Zielinski had for Black Ops 2 Zombies. And with the whole switching leads to Jason Blundell thing, these 3 maps ended up getting cut. One of them was called Abandoned Mine, which was scheduled for DLC 2. Another one was called the Facility Power Plant, which is exactly what it sounds like. It was going to be set in a power plant, which was scheduled for DLC 3.
3.
And the last one is called New York Tunnels, which would have taken place in the New York Tunnel system and was scheduled for DLC 4, but ended up getting replaced by Buried. And to me, it seems like the Abandoned Mine and the New York Tunnels ended up getting combined and kind of made into Buried.
That is true.
And I gotta admit, I'm kind of curious to see what exactly the plan was for the New York Tunnel system.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the direction that they were going to take the zombie storyline if they went someplace as like big as New York City, and what they were planning to do with that. I feel like that could have been a pretty impressive map, but unfortunately, history did not go that way.
Exactly.
Black Ops 3 had a cut alternate ammo type called Honeybee, and I think this would have behaved very similar to the Hive Specialist from multiplayer. Shooting at some zombies, eventually it would have activated, and whether it be the robot Hive from multiplayer or actual honeybees, your guess would be as good as mine. But it seems like the honeybees would come out and start attacking maybe a zombie's head or something until it disappeared. And then maybe they would move on to the next zombie, or maybe it would attack a cluster of zombies. We really don't have too much information on it, other than the fact that it was called Honeybee, it was an alternate ammo type, and it was gut. This one is kind of a small piece of cut content, but I think it would have been big if they would have left it in. Shadows of Evil was originally planned to be much more difficult. You would have had zombie sprinters by round 2, and doors were going to cost a lot more. And I can kind of see why they would make this happen, because it's actually pretty easy to get a lot of points really quick and get everything open in Shadows of Evil, especially with the Margwas, being able to spawn them in and get 500 points per headshot. It makes the first couple rounds kind of slow, but you can still get a lot done without having to advance too far. So I get the idea with what they were trying to do. Now, whether it would have been a good idea or a bad idea, that I'll never know, but it seems like they really wanted Shadows of Evil to be a little bit more difficult. One of the biggest pieces of cut content for Black Ops 3 is going to be, again, in Shadows of Evil, and it's going to revolve around the Apothicon Servant. Originally, each character would have had their own unique named Apothicon Servant, and you would have been able to upgrade it. And it seems like the upgrade steps went like this. First, you had to meet the kill requirement, and after getting the correct number of kills with the Apothicon Servant, you would have had to walk around the map and try to find a spot to hang a cocoon. And once you find a spot that you are successfully able to, you pretty much would have hanged up your Apothicon Servant, and then you have to progress one round and come back, and then you receive your upgraded Apothicon Servant. And very similar to the unupgraded version, each character would have their own uniquely named upgraded Apothicon Servant. And I kind of see why they would want to cut this. This seems pretty easy to get an upgraded Apothicon Servant. One of the best weapons in the game. So if they were truly wanting to make Shadows of Evil harder, I can kind of understand why they would take this out. It's a shame that they did, but I kind of see the point behind it. Maybe they could have just...
Yeah. Well, that's probably going to be it. I'm bored as shit, so I'll probably be seeing you guys